Hey guys, this is going to be a fun little new type of content. It is going to be me reacting to my own live coaching session. And the point is that we can shorten, sweeten it up a little bit for you guys and also make it so I can explain a few things that him and I talked about either before the game, after the game, and what you guys can kind of learn from this live coaching session to see what I wanted him to do that he wasn't doing and how it may have hurt him in the end. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Banana slam jam.
So at the beginning of every lane, I want to make a plan for how to get the range creep. His support is a silencer, so he doesn't have a way to reliably nuke the range creep. So I talked to him immediately about how to do this on Alk.
Only lay acid if they fight you, otherwise you can just deny the range creep, the creeps again, like Viper let you.
So what happened here is I told him to lay acid only if the opponent is fighting you. And what that means is that if he uses acid here, it kind of pressures him to, he's going to lower the HP of this range. So that means he's going to want to walk past the creeps to get it, but that's actually going to put him a bit out of position. So if you actually notice, the opponent didn't fight him here. The Viper just laid his W and backed off. So whenever you have spells like Acid Spray that are longer cooldowns and heavy mana investments, you only want to use them if the opponent's contesting. So I actually did not want, I said to use the Acid Spray only if the opponent fought you, and they didn't. So I didn't actually want him to use Acid Spray here. Just let it push into his tower, you know? But now he has to go get the range, maybe stepping into a little bit out of position. It's okay, though. Just something to think about there. He didn't have to use that mana.
This guy's probably dead. Just Acid Spray the people. Yeah. Hit him, yeah, fuck you. Easy. Okay.
So here I told them to play chill. And what that means is, if they overcommit onto your support or dive too much, then maybe look to kill them. Otherwise, you're just farming, right? So that's exactly what he's going to do here. See, Viper's going to overcommit onto a silencer. Super patient there. He actually waited for the Viper to walk too far forward, and then he just dies. So here's a situation where the Viper's going to respawn, and we want to fix the lane as quickly as possible. If the lane's going to sit all the way up there, it's going to be bad for us, right? It's going to be in a situation where we're going to be laning 1v2 because our silencer died. And so we need to fix it before Viper comes alive. So that's what I tried to get him to do here.
I want you to defensive aggro to your range. Go. Defensive aggro to range.
Before Viper's alive.
Yep.
He needs to do it again. He needs to defensive aggro again. So notice how his defensive aggro wasn't that great here. And he didn't do it perfectly. And it would have been the lane back here instead of where it is. You can already see here that he can work on his creep aggro, right?
Your support is pulling, so just chill. You're gonna give up these CS. Just make sure you get range from XP for them. Oh, he's gonna let you? Okay, that's fine.
So against heroes like Viper, you just don't want to lane really far forward because they have really long slows. They can literally just chase you, and they have unlimited damage with the poison attack, right? So that's why I told him to focus on the pull. Don't go lane. Just make sure you don't take way too much damage and die to Viper, or even just take 400 damage and not die. You're gonna get damaged for free, right?
Yeah, you have a lot of creeps, so if they chase into your creeps, you can Mango and Acid Spray. Yeah, to get denies now, this Viper's a noob.
So he uses Mango and then does an Acid Spray. So now
Mango, you have to cast the spell afterwards.
He gets sucked by Lion. So if you're against Mana Burn and you have Wands or Mangoes or Soul Rings, you have to plan to cast your spells immediately after
Acid Spray the wave.
You use whatever you did to give mana. So when your support gets gone on, like this, you really have two choices. One is to go help him, or two, get as many creeps and denies as possible while this is going on, because if you don't help him, then what's going to happen is you're going to be laning 1v2. So we don't want creeps to be there. We don't want the lane to just be normal by the time they've killed your silencer, right? So he's really low resources right now. He's got half HP, no mana. So I told him, clear these creeps immediately. And that's going to prevent him from having to lane 1v2 without his silencer.
Acid Spray the wave. Mango and Acid Spray. Mango, Acid Spray. Kill the creeps. Ignore what's happening over there. Kill the creeps. Kill.
So even though his silencer died, he got 4 creeps for free, solo XP. And now he doesn't even have to lane anymore. So the biggest thing about this now is that he is low mana, lane is pushed out, he's against 2 heroes without silencer. His 2 options are to jungle or to pull. That's it. So we want to get the pull off ideally, because that means we can lane in a bit. But honestly, it's okay to go jungle, especially against lanes that are this toxic, like Viper off lane.
Yeah, perfect. You're going to be under tower now in a sec.
So this kind of fixes the lane for him, right?
It's making me uncomfortable. It needs to be like this.
So here, I told him to go back to lane, but he's against Viper. So if he walks this way and Viper just attacks him 4 times, he's going to end up running away. He has to keep his distance from Viper, such that if the Viper does attack him, he's not so close that the Viper can attack him 3 more times, right? So I told him to take a super defensive path back to lane. The way you path, super important. So in this particular case, the lane is pushing into him. So the last thing you want to do when you're in this lane where you're trying to rotate between jungle and lane is cast spells that you would need for jungling. So on Alk specifically, if you use Acid Spray in lane, you will then not be able to jungle. So you should only use it in lane when you absolutely have to. Like, you're literally gonna get dove if these creeps don't get Acid Sprayed. So what happens here is the lane's pushing into him, and he could just defensively aggro and be fine. But he actually casts Acid Spray here, and if you see, that didn't actually save him from doing anything. So what happens now is, now that the lane's done, like he's pushed the creep wave, he could have walked over to maybe the medium camp and used Acid Spray. He can like weave in and out of lane. But instead, he has no Acid Spray now, so he's kind of gluing himself to lane. So if you're like a Wraith King, don't cast Skeletons. If you're an Alk, don't cast Acid Spray if you're looking to dip in and out of lane, right? Unless you absolutely have to.
Acid Spray the creep wave, Soul Ring Acid Spray, but defensive aggro. Defensive aggro, run away from the Viper. Yes, yes. Don't let him get Qs on you. Maybe you're gonna Soul Ring stack this. Be ready. Just Soul Ring stack it.
So whenever you're going back to base, very important to like utilize every single resource you have on the way out. So in this case, I yell at him to stack the camp with his Soul Ring Acid Spray.
No, go. Like, get out, yeah, go home. Perfect.
Perfect. So what he's gonna do is when he goes back out of base,
Soul Ringing, and you're gonna Q it so it doesn't cost you mana. Okay, you're gonna Q it.
So this is gonna help him get to level 6 as efficiently as possible in like a tough lane.
You're gonna TP right here. You're gonna Q this camp immediately, so it does not cost you mana. But do not use Soul Ring. Just TP now, and then Q this camp. Max range.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Kite it back a little bit. Those creeps hurt. You don't quite have 6. Yes, we're gonna monitor bottom lane. We're gonna like make our way back because we have level 6. We want to be kiting our way this way. We're not scared anymore because we're level 6 now. Get that? That's real nice. Make our way back towards bottom. We're looking at mid as well. Weaver's actually diving. Okay, go mid. There's a free wave here. Free wave mid.
Whenever you're jungling as a carry, you want to look to scoop up waves. So Alchemist specifically, when he has his ultimate, he's super strong to just walk into lane, Acid Spray it, and walk away, right? So I told him now that you have ult, you don't have to be scared anymore, and you can just defend lanes that are getting pushed.
No Acid Spray, just farm it.
So when you're carry and you're playing around lanes, you need to take care of these objectives that are there, guys. So in this case, I told him to check runes. Like if you're in the mid lane and you're playing carry at this point, 8 minutes in, check the rune. You're there, might as well. These are very useful things you can do in the game. Denying enemy haste or invis or arcane.
You want to Acid Spray the camp without farming it? Soul Ring and use ult. Very nice camp. You're gonna go to. I shouldn't have had you Soul Ring there, but it's fine. You're gonna go to this camp. Oh, use that. That's the best neutral item on out.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
Q this camp.
So here, what I'm telling him to do is basically go back and forth between mid, kind of being ready to defend the lanes if they get dove. That's it. But otherwise, he's jungling, and that's what's going to guide you when you're jungling early as carries. You don't really want to get involved in fights, but you're just willing to go scoop up waves under towers. So his Lesh is mid again, so he's not really worried about that.
This camp. Just be cautious, because you won't have ult, so you're just mainly there to Acid Spray the wave, you know?
So whenever you go back to lane as carry, the only reason you're doing it is to defend your tower. So everything I told him to do here, if it's not defending his tower and he's taking damage, it's inefficient.
You can actually go pick up your Radiance. It's like right there at this point.
So he wasn't sending his courier to the Secret Shop when he's dealing with items like Radiance and Battle Fury. Very important. So he ended up having to walk his hero to the Secret Shop to efficiently get his Radiance. So whenever you guys are getting these type of farming items, make sure to send your courier ahead of time. Super important.
In the future, we'd avoid this. Go farm these 2 camps together. So whenever you have Radiance, it's super important to...
So here, I'm going to then tell him how to farm efficiently with Radiance. This is super important. It seems like if he doesn't know how to farm with Radiance, I haven't made a video about it. So Radiance is all about burning as many creeps as you possibly can at the same time. So I'm going to describe to him what he's supposed to do.
Like nick the camps so that they walk into you. So you like walk right here and then you farm this camp. Like you want your Radiance to tick the camp and then you walk over here. Yeah. Perfect. You can make your way towards mid. You're pretty strong. Towards mid. If you can like clean up fights when you have Radiance like this. Like if you're not the target. So like keep walking this way.
So I've instructed him to clean up fights. What that means is you kind of do a decent amount of damage, but you're not super tanky yet, right? Because he has a Radiance. So this means, like, if you're strong enough to do damage in fights, like you're a PA or an Alk, but you're not all that survivable, because in this case, all he has is Brown Boots Radiance, you should be willing to gravitate and farm towards fights, but let the fight happen before you actually go.
Yeah, go to this fight. This looks good if they fight. Yeah, this looks good. Just ult it.
So if you ever walk to a fight like this, and now all of your teammates are in the same area, you might as well like apply a little bit of pressure, and that's what I'm going to have him do here.
Spray the wave.
You can just walk up, hit the tower with your ultimate.
You guys can push. You can push. You can push. You can push. You can push.
Nothing committal, guys.
long as you have your
Just
ultimate.
because you're here doesn't mean you have to
Like,
force
come back.
anything.
You do a lot of damage.
Just chill, play with the 700 radius of your radiance. Notice how I don't want him to dive or anything. It's all about pressuring this tower. Worst case scenario, your teammates feed a little bit like this, and he's just going to back off, right? So that's something you can do as a carry where you cautiously participate in fights. So what you guys miss is that Ricky's been following him all game. So it's really important when you're farming to think who on the enemy team, based on heroes or just based on what they've been doing, is going to try to gank you, right? So our farming patterns will generally just be away from these heroes, right? So in this case, Ricky's been chasing him around. And so a lot of times after you farm this small camp, you're going to go farm the triangle, right? But what we see is a Ricky on the minimap, like right up here. So I told him to back off down because Ricky has been
Go down. That's where Ricky was.
near top. See, he's right there on Ricky, right?
Leshrac has left the building. Mid tower is dead. Acid spray this camp over here and farm both of these.
So what you can do when you have Radiance on Alk is you start to use Acid Spray to drag creeps into your Radiance. Right there. Burning as many creeps as possible.
Please stop using attacks on low HP creeps. You have...
So what you want to do on Alk is make it so all the creeps die at the same time. He was attacking creeps that were already low HP. So generally with Radiance and Battle Fury, you'll attack the higher HP creeps.
You can run back to mid. You have ult again.
Dominating, I guess.
Use your fortification. Pop ult now. Be careful though. Pop.
So what I taught him about Alk is that if you're going to run into a fight, you need to ult preemptively, especially against silences like Ricky and stuns like Lion. And also, a great use of this hero is that he can use Acid Spray to help defend his towers, something that most carries can't do. So every time a tower was under threat and he had ultimate, I wanted him to participate.
Ult. Pop ult. Be careful with your positioning. You can always just lay Acid Spray and make them fight into it. You don't have to like run in. Yeah, perfect. This is good. This is really good. You're good. You can like see how you kite back, they chase, then you can run after him again. This is Alchemist. Perfect. Yes. Beautiful. Be careful.
So this is really important. So this was something him and I talked about after the coaching session in depth because he kept fucking it up. And it's because he's unfamiliar with Alchemist. So Alchemist has a radiance where it's 700 radius around you. He also has Acid Spray. This is a lot of AoE damage over time where if the opponent's fighting into it but not actually able to commit to killing you, they're taking 100 damage a second and you're regenning like 50 HP per second. So what that's going to allow you to do is make it so as long as they're 700 radius from you, you're owning, right? So like this radius right here is way too close. So I kept telling him to back off, but what that meant was be 700 radius away from the opponent because that's how you fight with a radiance, right? So he kept backing off like 1,000 range, and then I would tell him to go back in, and then he's 300 range. It's like if you can learn to kite this 700 radius with a radiance on any hero that buys radiance, super powerful.
Viper, be careful. Be careful. There was a lack of kiting back there. You ran in. Oh, no. Okay, once you get your wand, your fight mode. There's a fight.
So right now we see 2 heroes mid and 1 hero bottom on the enemy team, right? So what I wanted him to do was to make use of that information and potentially go top
So just chill.
if one of his teammates does. So you're going to see this in a second, right? So we see a move going on bottom. What that means, whenever you see a move like this, it means you're either going to go help it or the rest of the map is more available to you guys. Understand, this becomes the dangerous area, and further away from there you go, the safer it is. So we see them going on bottom and a support Lion farming top. I call that a not allowed situation. So I told him to run at top because his Lesh was there, and we saw the fight going on bottom. He was very slow to do this. He took a bad path. I wanted him to beeline it all the way to this Lion, right? And you're going to see that he took the longer path, and the Lion's just going to get away. I wanted him to walk straight at this Lion, right? And now the Lion's going to get away, right?
Ult and run him down.
So what we're doing here is not actually trying to kill the Lion. We're making use of the fact that the opponent is bottom, and that since we as a carry want them to separate and we have a BKB, we want them to either react to saving this Lion, in which case we're going to back off, or we can actually kill the Lion. But it's mainly to force reactions.
Relentless pursuit.
So nobody's reacted yet, so I'm yelling at him to chase. And now he gets to aggressively farm some camps because he's zoned this enemy support from this area. So I tried to teach him to play around his ulti cooldown a lot more. As soon as his ult's on CD again, he needs to be out, right? So I was trying to tell him to leave sooner. Also making time to stack the Ancients.
We are not wanting to fight them here.
So now they're all missing. He has no ultimate. I'm trying to tell him to be cautious. So I'm noticing when I was coaching him that he doesn't have a good sense of when the opponent is doing something else and he's strong, and when he has no ultimate and he's not strong because the opponent's all missing. So that's like basic, that's map awareness at a high level, but it's something all of you guys can start to work on. Thinking about what makes you strong and what makes them strong.
Turn your radiance off to not trigger camps to follow you early. You can actually ask to spray this camp. Please ult. Please ult. Please ult.
Okay. So I got frustrated at this point because what happens here is if we take a snapshot of the map, we see nobody. And he's walking in and not ulting. So what's beautiful about Alk Ultimate is that it makes it so when people go on you and you're stunned, you're just healing a ton. So it's much harder to kill you. So if you're walking into dangerous areas with Alk, you use your ult. That's what it's for.
Okay, they're going on your lash. This might be good. You're low mana.
Okay, so we're about to start a team fight. He doesn't have his ult, and he's low mana, right? His ult's about to run out, and he's low mana. So there's a lot of things to think about on Alk. When you have BKB activated, you're allowed to channel your stun longer, because the worst thing is Alk is that you get stunned while you're trying to stun, okay? So we're going to see him do a lot of things wrong here. Let's go ahead and check it out, and I'm just going to comment as we're going along. So when he's going on this Viper, he could channel his stun full duration because he's going to BKB. But yet he only charged it for a second and a half. So the stun's a lot shorter than it needs to be. His BKB's about to run out, and he runs forward. I need him to run away when his BKB is expiring. And then Weaver has Diffusal, so I'm screaming at him to get out, because if he presses stick and doesn't instantly TP, the Weaver's going to burn his mana and prevent him from getting out. So there's a lot of little things where we need to make sure we're doing these button presses properly and patience. So if he's worried of Lion hexing him, he doesn't want to stun himself, then he'll have to release his stun early. But when he's BKB'd, he can channel the stun full duration.
Just go to the Ancients.
So I'm telling him to be scared, and he needs to be ready to defend himself if he sees somebody. So that's Acid Spray on top of himself right here. Instead, he's running away.
Abilities on top of you. Always just Acid Spray on top of yourself if people go on you.
So what he learned here is that he was supposed to have that be his defensive reaction. Every hero has one, guys. Make sure you think about what that would be if somebody goes on you.
Yeah, you can walk on him now. He's dead. This guy's an idiot. Be cautious. Kite back.
So what he kept doing when he was stunning and he was about to stun himself was he was running towards the opponent, desperately trying to get a stun off. When you're playing Alk, if you think you might stun yourself, you need to run as far away as possible to be creating space between you and the opponent so you don't do exactly this. So if he had just laid Acid Spray down, channeled a stun from distance, and worst case scenario walked away and stunned himself, he wouldn't have died there for sure.
We're gonna be selling the wand for a blink, but TP top, sell the wand. Yeah, TP top, sell the wand.
So when you're selling items out of base, you should TP first and then sell them, because you can always do that during the TP. It's just more efficient.
Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot.
It's fine. Push your ult now.
Okay, so when you accidentally BKB, don't show in lane, guys.
It's fine,
don't then show in lane. You want the opponent to at least not know you don't have BKB. That's important information. So I didn't really mind that he accidentally BKB'd. I mind that he then showed in lane. So we see a bunch of heroes mid. We see one bottom telling him to run out of base here. Just force them to come to him. But be cautious because he's alone. See how they're running at him right now with the Ricky. So I told him to hide. We don't know where they are. Gotta be really scared. Turn your Radiance off if you're ever hiding with a Radiance.
Stop moving.
We have no information. So this is the kind of time where you hide in trees, guys.
You can look to blink stun Lion. He's your #1 target if you see him.
So I just said there that Lion's his #1 target, and that's because Lion is the instant disable that makes it harder for him to use BKB. So if he can stun Lion, that means he doesn't have to instantly BKB.
Yeah, this guy can die. Nice.
So I actually think he should have ulted right away there in order to burst the Lion, but the fact that he held BKB would have been really good. He didn't actually have BKB. But the fact is he could have held it in the fight. He probably would have instantly pressed it, but it's good that he was able to do that. He actually kited back immediately. This was really good.
I'm okay with your play. Chase, get the CM. This little fragile maiden.
So they're missing 2 heroes. He's got ult running. He's got BKB.
Yes!
And now he just stunned 2 people and then used his BKB immediately after. I was like, why? They're stunned, you know? So overall, this session was a lot about how bad his BKB usage was. And I'm actually going to be making a video based on this session teaching you guys how to use BKB. So I tell him to chase because there's 2 heroes dead, right? So we're going to chase. We're going to go for the squishy guy. We're going to stun the 2 guys that make us BKB. But instead, after the stun, while they're stunned, he's going to cast BKB, which is not good, right? He should not use his BKB here. But then, if he's going to use his BKB, he needs to pay attention to this duration. And heroes like Viper will absolutely murder you when you come out of BKB. So he needs to learn to kite back. Patience. Pay attention to the timing of your BKB. It's not just about how you use it. It's about when you lose it, right? So he's going to lose the BKB charge or buff in just a sec, but he's going to be heavily committed on the Viper here, and Viper's just going to kill him.
Soaring TP, Soaring TP, Soaring TP, Soaring... maybe just man fight his ass. Actually, 5 minutes going on, 5 minutes going on. Maybe we can kill the Weaver.
Once again, he didn't stun very long at all. He didn't ult for damage. These are all little things that we kept talking about after the replay, reminding him, like, these are things you do. You ult for damage. You hold your stun if you have BKB available. Lion was also disabled.
Oh, no. Okay. Run. Okay, just heal up and go back in. Be ready.
We got a time lapse.
Maybe kill him here.
Yeah, your time lapse.
Hell yeah! Let's go! Fight that man. Hell yeah. Run! I would not buy back unless...
So we're considering buying back here, but he doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have ulti, and they already killed the #1 net worth Weaver, so... telling him to keep in mind that the Viper is building a Lotus. Whenever you have a single target ability, you got to keep an eye out for Lotuses and Lincoln Spheres.
So you ult for damage
Super
when
important
you're jumping
there.
people.
Little bit of a rundown from me.
Hold your stun longer than 1 second. We'll actually kill the Weaver there. As long as you have BKB available, I'm not afraid to hold my stun. Because, like longer. Like, absolutely worst case scenario, I'm going to stun myself and I BKB. Okay? Like, absolute worst case scenario. Now, if you... So, what I just said is really important in the sense that you guys always, as a carry especially, need to think of worst case scenarios. So, when it comes to things like Alch Stun, you can be greedier with it in terms of hold it for longer if you have a reaction to the worst case scenario. But when his BKB is not available, he just needs to chuck out the stun after he's channeled it for 1 or 2 seconds, right? So that's something he definitely wasn't adjusting his uses of, and it was making it so he was kind of like all over the place. Yeah, push ult, acid spray, and then so because we don't see Weaver, I'm telling him to push ult and acid spray and just be ready to leave. In this case, I told him to TP top, and I'm like, okay, you just gotta be ready to get out though. Yep. So this is a case where it's good to push this wave, but kill the bug.
Just run away, right? We're just killing the wave. Nothing fancy. We're not trying to kill anybody.
Trees and shit. You're really fast.
Yep. And this is worst case scenario type of thing. You guys can learn to do this kind of stuff.
Very good.
Great. So we forced a Weaver to chase after us. Whenever somebody's chasing you, make them show themselves before you believe they're done chasing you. So I told him to path very defensively here. So really the last lesson I want to teach you guys is don't feel overcommitted to plays. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show that he has a Lion mid. I'm like, I see this Lion, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's like, we're all missing, and we could just maybe kill him. But that means that it's an opportunity. You don't have to force it, okay? So what happens here is he's going to channel his stun to get the Lion.
Lion?
We're going to lose sight of the Lion. And then his reaction, because his stun's about to run out, is to blink in looking for Lion. This is the type of thing where you guys are totally welcome to look for opportunities and then just back off if it's not going to work. If he just blinks away and stuns himself, it's okay, right? But instead he blinks in trying to look, and instead he turns this into a really weird engagement. So what I'm learning when I coach you guys, I really want to talk about this scenario, is that what I'm learning when I'm telling you guys is that when I tell you guys to do something, you guys just, it is all or nothing. It's like when I tell you to walk at a guy in lane, you guys use all 3 spells and you just, go after him. The thing is, Jota's a lot about miniatures, power spikes, little opportunities, moments of opportunity, right? like where something opens up and then it closes, where if you miss the option, you just accept that you missed it. Totally okay, not a big deal. So I want you guys to look for these opportunities, but then understand that it doesn't mean you have to win the game off of them. You can just accept that maybe the window was missed or it didn't work out that specific time. But these are the type of plays where I feel like a lot of people get themselves in trouble. So he ends up running away and getting out here, but he causes his entire team to die. So this is the end, I believe, of my review of my own coaching session. There's some really nice Alchemist lessons in here, as well as overall approaches to fighting, BKB usage, and making sure we think about contingency plans, having a backup to whatever we're doing. And if that's the case, we can always make use of these like semi-risky plays that might pay off. So let me know how you guys like this content. I'm going to be making a BKB video off of what I saw here. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.